maker, you ready? Raise your fist and shout out power. Raise your voice and say it louder. Rock your body if you love Jamaica. Rock your body if you really love Jesus. Come red, make we cross over. Come red, make we cross over. My soul, shout out for power. My soul, shout out for power. My soul, shout out for power when we cross over. Come red, make we cross over. Come red, make we cross over. My soul, shout out for power.
Good night, good night,
my
good
soul,
night, good night.
Shout out for power. My soul, shout out for power when we cross over. Hallelujah. 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 My God,
Can't seem to
we
save
from
my life in a
them. Hallelujah. 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 People save we from them. Ball out hallelujah. Shout out hallelujah. Hallelujah. My God, save we from them. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Good night, everybody. How wanna doing? We are live, we are up, and we are running, and I have very good news. YouTube wanna talk to me when you can't hear me. I think I solved the problem. I am no mechanic or computer whiz, but I think the mic is up and running. How are you? TikTok, good evening everybody. Good evening. It's so much I wanna greet me already. I can't even call him by name. I must sincerely apologize for being absent last night, as I was in a lot of pain. You know when you're in so much pain till your teeth need you? Yeah, that kind of pain there. And so, if the pain were bearable, I would have been on, but it is what it is. Good night, everybody. Good night, TikTok. Good night, YouTube. I am here. I am up. I am running. Hey, YouTube. When you can't see me now. The first things first, though. We're begging you to share up the live. Before we go any further, everybody share it to at least 10 people. YouTube, do the deed, share it, share it, share it. And over there on YouTube, hey Brown man, I see that you're hearing me. Big up yourself. Alright, so I am doing my sharing and I'm hoping that you share as well. So we have a whole heap of things to talk about tonight. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Let me find my YouTube and share it as well. I'm going to share up the live for me, comrades. Let's get the numbers a little higher. I want a whole heap of things we have to talk about tonight, you know. There's a lot happening. Good night, Sagittarius. Good night, everybody. Let me just give a general good night tonight. I see all my usual regulars on. Blessings, love you know. Missed you all last night. But you see, if me can't come and give you know all my attention on a full night show, I'm not going to do it. You understand? It's the principle of the thing. I'm not going to do it if I can't do it properly. And to how me did feel yesterday, well, I took some medication that would have made me a little loopy in the first place. So I probably would not have given you the best version of me. Right? So, like I say, oh, YouTube going on. We want to share up the live. Let's go, people. Let's go. Let's get the numbers up. Let's get the numbers up and running. YouTube, let's get the numbers up and running. Make I share the YouTube link. How wanna do? How was your day been? A lot of yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, man. It's you know it going. You're a woman. You know it go. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Sagittarius. Just one of the burdens we have to bear every month. So it go. What are the medication? You know. All right. So I've shared the link. I've shared the links. Blessings, everybody. Let's get the numbers up and running. All right, so YouTube, let me tell you, I did not expect to be able to be live on YouTube tonight, so I didn't do much preparation. I just, something in my spirit said to me, say, listen, just try your luck with YouTube. So I don't have any graphics prepared, but you know it go already. I will upload the video of the whatever I'm doing, no interviews tonight. Good night, Sue. I will upload everything afterwards, but you will hear everything and you will see me. You just don't have the pretty graphics them. All right, but I'm good. At least I'm figuring out how to solve my problems. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about now. Good night. Gleaner claims say, oh, divisional, somebody saying divisional conference. All right, send videos and photos. The divisional conferences are going on. The PNP divisional conferences are happening now, comrades. So a lot of our people will be attending these things. You know, if you can support, you support. Once we get some of the flyers, we'll be posting them, so at least you can check the flyer. I know Dre has been posting them. I'm just a delinquent, you know. I'm just a delinquent. I need to, but God no. I'm just a delinquent. But yeah. So the divisional conferences are happening. So, you know, the numbers might fluctuate because people are out in the divisional, in the field doing the PNP's work. But we could talk about the Leeds Constitutional Reform Committee, according to the Gleaner. All right. Now, comrades, I have been preaching on my page. I have been preaching on my page that we need to not allow these demons to distract us. We are not to allow them to distract us, because what they are doing is trying to divert our attention from the real matter at hand. The real matter at hand is actually the constitutional reform. That is the real matter at hand, you know, the constitutional reform. But what them want to do, them want to talk about comrade leader passport, citizenship, where him born. It's a 3-card trick. Good night, Georgia. It's a 3-card trick, and we need to mash down the lies. First and foremost, the matter at hand is the constitutional reform, and the fact that they are doing it under quiet. First and foremost, why does the Constitutional Reform Committee report have to be leaked? Constitutional reform is something that we should all, as a country, be involved in. This is our constitution, people. This is our constitution that is going to be the foremost law governing each and every Jamaican citizen. So why is it, therefore, that this needs to be a secret? And that I want to know. Why does it need to be a secret? You need to ask yourself that question. Why is it that the JLP gets to change the constitution with only 2 comrades on that committee? You're not going to tell me say the rest of them on there is neutral. Nadine Spence is neutral. Then whenever I hear rumors a couple years ago said Nadine Spence was looking to run for as Labour right. Now so we did hear. So you tell me, so them put together the committee and they're going to put comrades on it, apart from the 2 that they have to put. Remember Hugh Small, who is also on the committee, at the recommendation, on the recommendation of Comrade Leader Mark Golding, says that he refused to sign off on the report, you know. You see me now, if not going to talk about Comrade Senator Donna Scott Motley, and I'm not going to talk about Comrade Anthony Hilton. Make we talk about Hugh Small, who is there as in a capacity of being independent, who says that he was not happy with some of the things that is there, and him not signing that. So when me want to know, why is it that people have signed off on this thing if they are not happy? Up down to Dr. Lloyd Barnett, who is the constitutional expert, the foremost constitutional scholar, according to what the media says. No, that's what we want to know. But you see, Bearside Show, Deputy General Secretary Charles Sinclair is describing as hypocritical and disgraceful Mark Golding's response. So they are now making this thing about Mark Golding's citizenship a big deal. But I am going to tell you now why they're making it a big deal. I just want to find that. Here we go. So listen to this now, comrades and friends. I'm learning. Listen to this, comrades and friends. Jamaica would not benefit at this time from having a directly elected president according to the Constitutional Reform Committee. Remember, this question was polled, and most Jamaicans want to elect a president, but not the committee. The committee full of labor rights. They don't. They are towing the government line. They are towing the government line. So they are saying Jamaica would not benefit at this time from having a directly elected president, according to the Constitutional Reform Committee, which recommends retaining the cabinet parliamentary system of government over the executive president style. So we are not supposed to vote for the president, right? They want to appoint a president. So basically the parliamentary majority, they want to appoint a president. That's the bottom line, The CRC says they appoint the president who it is proposing would be appointed through a process involving the Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition, and the Parliament. Should be the embodiment of national identity, national unity, and neutral arbiter for the nation. So whoever is in power, whichever government is in power, gets to decide who the president is. That's basically what happens with the GG anyway. So what's the difference? How is that constitutional reform? If all you are doing is replacing the Governor General with a ceremonial president, what's the difference? Remember, comrades and friends, Andrew Holness claimed when he was jealous over the hype that Mia Mottley was getting for moving away from the monarchy. Andrew Holness claimed that becoming a republic should be more than, what was the term he used again? It should be more than empty symbolism. That's what he said. So when you appoint a ceremonial president, isn't that just empty symbolism, comrades and friends? Want you to find out about the clause. We don't even hear anything about that yet, because him come with all these promises. All I know is that they don't want to have an impeachment bill in the new constitution. So again, I ask you, who is this constitutional reform benefiting? Is it benefiting the people of Jamaica, or is it benefiting the Jamaica Labour Party? Thank you, Atta, for the press. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Who is this benefiting? That is what I would like to know. It's definitely not benefiting Jamaican people. They want to go republic because Mia Mottley did it, and they realize that it was popular among Jamaican people. The JLP is a populist government, and they see this push towards republic as a way to change the constitution in their favor. So what they have to remember now, the JLP has lost in the constitutional court at least 5 times in the last 8 years. Thank you, Richie. Thank you. Remember, the JLP has lost in the constitutional court at least 5 times. Remember, say, victims of the police during the state of emergency took the government to court about a violation of their constitution, Thank you, Apples. Violation of the constitution, and the government lost. Remember, the court ruled that detaining people under the SOE without charging them for how long was a violation of the human rights of the detainees. Remember, Comrade Julian Robinson took the government to court over the invasive nature of the NIDS bill. Remember that? And remember, Comrade Julian Robinson was victorious in standing up for the people of Jamaica against the NIDS bill. And the Constitutional Court of Jamaica ruled that the NIDS bill in its form at the time violated the constitutional rights of Jamaican citizens with how invasive it was. Big up yourself, Rosalie. Yeah, man, me have to talk up the things them. Rosalie over there on YouTube. Me have to talk up the things them. Remember, comrades, that up to the other day, the government was again taken to constitutional court by comrades Philip Paulwell and Peter Bunting in relation to the tenure of DPP Paula Llewellyn, who the government sought to have her retirement, her contract extended beyond her retirement. And again, they lost that case. So this government is in constant violation of the Constitution. And these are the same people who are tampering with our Constitution. They are tampering with our Constitution under secrecy. And when asked about why is it that you need this process to be in secret, their excuse is they don't want it to be politicized. Have you ever heard of the JLP not politicizing something? Answer me that. Wanna answer me that? But they want to distract you with comrade leader passport and visa and where him come from. They are holding on to the issue of Mark Golding's citizenship like a drowning man clutching at a straw. A drowning man clutching at a straw, YouTube. Big up yourself, Corinne, over there on YouTube. I see you. Thank you for joining me on YouTube. Share up the live for me. You see, comrades, comrade Annette, they are doing everything to improve the popularity of their dead product called Andrew Holness. I tell you already that Andrew Holness is an expired product. His wife was busy singing on CVM TV last week. Singing on something. Now he is supposed to go on CVM because he's trying to fix his image. Andrew Holness coming like AstraZeneca joke. Useless. And the Jamaican people reject him like how them reject the AstraZeneca joke. Because we didn't know say it's useless. She go and sing like how she sing when she lose KSAC. That is how Juliet gonna sing. But we going to show them say them useless. And while they try to distract Jamaican people with the help of the traditional media, because we notice that CVM is trying to resuscitate the dead products. We will be on all of these stations, all of these social media platforms, TikTok and YouTube, Instagram and Facebook, even X, beating and teaching. I heard the breaking news, Georgia, but me, I stay far from that. That have to come out on its own. I don't want it. I am keeping my hands away from that. Make the chips fall where they may. Right? Make the chips fall where they may with that the story there. All I know is that God is an awesome God. And the truth will always come to light, comrades. The truth will always come to light. But, you know, comrades, there is a story about a missing girl that I want to briefly touch on. I'm sure you would have all heard the story of this missing girl, a teacher called Danielle Anglin, who has been missing now for about 5 days and was last seen taking an Uber. I am going to post it up here, comrades, because I think that we are not paying enough attention to this case. We are not paying enough attention to that case, and we're gonna try and connect to her relatives tomorrow for an interview. But what I can tell you is too many of our young people are going missing, comrades. Just this morning I was looking at TikTok and I see where a 24-year-old past student of JC was found unalive in a building in Portmore. I don't know who else saw it, but I haven't heard it on the news. Give me a second. Let me just pull this up. TikTok. I'll be back in a minute. I just want to ensure, say, wanna see it. That is her. Danielle Anglin, 29-year-old teacher. Right? Now, I just want all of you to be aware of what is happening. It is said that she chartered an InDrive and she's been missing since. YouTube, I'm sorry I don't have the graphics as I say, but I will try something for now. I will try something for now so you can keep up with me. At least you are seeing me. Blessings, Talk Your Mind TV. What's up? Nice seeing you over there on YouTube. Nice seeing you. InDrive. Yes, it was InDrive Twitch. You're quite right. It is InDrive. It is InDrive. It's just so sad what is happening in the country these days, you know. It is very sad. As the mother of a young daughter, who just turned 18. I can only pray that we find her alive and well. You understand? I can only pray. Moderator Unfriendly, I see you at work, man. Big up yourself. I see you at work. But you know, comrades, after Jasmine Dean disappeared, Senator Matthew Samuda, who was at that time the junior minister, the Minister of State in the Ministry of National Security, promised that he would bring back the Stay Alert app. And I want to show you what the Stay Alert app is. I don't have it on this phone. So the thing is, when you're using too much phone, I'm looking for my Stay Alert app. I'm gonna find it. YouTube, apologies for the noise because I just logged into my email, so all of the pop-ups are coming. I apologize for the sound, the constant background sound. It soon stop. I know you're hearing it too on TikTok, but there is something that I want to show you because it is vitally important. You see, in the administration, the PNP administration, which came into power in 2012, while Peter Bunting was the Minister of National Security, an app called the Stay Alert app was developed. I'm trying to find it because I know I have it. An app called the Stay Alert app was developed, comrades, and that app was basically an app where we could use people who were in trouble. They would download it, have it on them phone. I find it. And they could send off an alert that would go to the police and also a person of interest, a person of your choosing who you basically would want to know if you're in danger, like your mother, your spouse, whoever. But it was discontinued by the JLP government. Like a SOS, Randine, like an SOS. I got it here. Yeah, we have it. We have it here. There we go. The Stay Alert app. That's what it looks like. And the Stay Alert app was designed, yes, it used to be on every smartphone, where it was basically across the border, and it didn't matter which network, right? It didn't matter which network, both networks allowed it. Whichever, whether you have iPhone, Android, it didn't matter. It was available. It doesn't work, Twitch. It doesn't work anymore, right? They discontinued the app. And, you know, it's so sad because this is something that was useful. But one thing I will tell you is we have to take safety in our own hands. We have to take our own safety in our hands. So if you have to take public transportation, especially these private transportation companies, the Uber, the InDrive, the taxi them, please always make somebody know where you are at all time. You can turn on your live location on WhatsApp. That's what I asked my daughter to do, right? So that we can track her whereabouts when she has to take public transportation. Talk to somebody on the phone. Make sure whichever vehicle pick you up. Make sure you educate your kids about this, you know. Whichever vehicle pick them up, make sure you have a copy of the, make sure you record the type of vehicle, the color. Thank you, Judah Lion. The type of vehicle, the color, and the license plate number. If it's an in-drive, whatever. You following me? This is vitally important because you might save your children or your sister or your brother or your parents, somebody's life, if we all just be extra careful and vigilant. A lot of things happening in this country where we don't know about, you know. Why they are kidnapping our young people. A lot of times, some of them, yes, we know that they end up unalive. But a lot of times, them kidnapping them for all sorts of things. Organ harvesting, that is really, you never know. We've heard testimonies about these things before. So what I'm telling you is not politics, but it's just about safety. It's just about safety. YouTube, sorry for the constant sound from the computer. As I said, they pop up them and give me a warm time. I may try to close them out. I'm trying to close them out. Let me turn down the desktop audio while I speak and close these things out. So I'm hearing it. Hopefully you're not hearing that anymore. You're just picking up from a mic. Alright. I think it's all done now. Should me go open my email? Yeah. So look it up. And we need to, what we need to do, comrades and friends, we need to pressure the government to bring back this app. You see, this is too big of an issue to politicize. It is something that is useful and was working. Matthew Samuda talked about there were issues with it and it wasn't working properly, but that is simply not true. You understand? That is simply not true. We need to pressure him to stop politicizing these things. Because at the end of the day, our safety is too important to be politicized, comrades and friends. Are you following me? Are you following what I talk about? Now, Twitter has been very exciting. You see, one thing with these demons called labor rights, you know. You see, when them decide to attack, them come in like pack animal. But you know what sweet me? Comrades, let me tell you now what sweet me. When me see this here one, you know, who call himself Killer Vaz. And somebody take me out, you know, because I posted today that I did a video on calling Killer Vaz. And then take me on. How could you call him Killer Vaz? How can you call him Killer Vaz? I know me call him Killer Vaz, you know. He call himself Killer Vaz. He call himself that. I'm going to make you hear it. What did he say? When you listening?
Anyway, me there. My name Killer Vaz. Anyway, me there. My name Killer Vaz.
What the man say? The man say anyway him them name Killer Vaz. So why when me call it? Well, why when me call him Killer Vaz, them want come attack me? The man said, him said it with him own mouth. He said it himself. It's a video.
Anyway, me there. My name Killer Vaz.
The man said it. So I could talk about Killer Vaz now. I could give you a little history about Killer Vaz. So, Killer Vaz used to be a US citizen. Killer Vaz, who is the MP for Western Portland, him used to be a US citizen. I don't know whether he got his US citizenship as a child or whatever, but the fact is he was a US citizen. While he was a sitting member of parliament, because he was first elected as a member of parliament in 2002. So while Killer Vaz was a member of parliament, he was a sitting MP. Well, he was a US citizen. Wait no man, Twitch, we don't reach there so yet. Don't jump ahead. Now in 2007, first and foremost, yes, in 2007, when Daryl Vaz was re-elected after that election. When Daryl Vaz was re-elected after that election, comrades, Comrade Abe Dabdub, who at the time had recently crossed the floor to become a comrade, he was a Labourite all along. And in 2007, comrades and friends, Abe Dabdub crossed the floor and joined the People's National Party from the Jamaica Labour Party. He lost the seat that he ran in, but then he decided now to become the attorney representing PNP candidates who lost to dual citizens. So he would have represented at that time the candidate that ran against Daryl Vaz, also the candidate that ran against Gregory Mayer and Shahini Robinson. Because remember, this man coming from JLP, you know, so he would have known, say all of them is dual citizen. You understand? You hear the saying, when shark go down and sea, but when fish go and sea bottom and tell us a shark they down there, well, he come from JLP and tell us they are dual citizens and decide to take them to court. Now the law is very clear, comrades. I want to show you the law. The law is very clear. The law states that if you swear allegiance to a foreign country that is not a member of the Commonwealth, you are ineligible to represent the country as a member of parliament or a senator. It's very, very clear. It's crystal clear. No election of a member of House of Representatives shall be called in question on the ground that law under which the election was conducted was inconsistent with this section. So we have the sections, you know. If you are, however, a member of the Commonwealth, if you are a citizen of a Commonwealth country, comrades and friends, and you live in Jamaica for over a year, comrades and friends, that law does not apply to you. Now, Daryl Vaz, Shahini Robinson, Gregory Mayer et al. Were citizens of the US, and Daryl in particular had never given up his passport. When his passport expired, he renewed his passport to the point where, let me show you. This is, wait a second. Yes, so by virtue of the act, acknowledgement, allegiance, all right? So, Daryl Vaz, in renewing his passport, his US passport, that is an act of swearing allegiance to a foreign country according to the court. See the rule in here? Make I read it for you, because I can't see it on that, but you can see it. I am going to read it for the benefit of those on YouTube. As a citizen of the United States of America, Mr. Vaz is entitled to obtain a United States passport. Mr. Vaz is the holder of a valid United States passport, which he has maintained, renewed, and used for travel to various countries noted in it before and after his nomination for the 2007 general election. On several occasions, Mr. Vaz has presented himself to the immigration authorities as being an American citizen. And when he did so, he understood his obligations as an American citizen. If Mr. Vaz had not renewed his passport but had retained his American, listen carefully, if Mr. Vaz had not renewed his passport but had retained his American citizenship, there could have been no doubt that he had obtained American citizenship involuntarily, and no question of disqualification could have arisen. Wanna listening? This is what the ruling said, you know. You see this portion, it going cut out and paste forever for everybody to see and hear what the law states. Because what these labor rights are banking on is the ignorance of the Jamaican people to the law. So we dig him up. We dig him up, you know. And that's why I said that we are going to use Killer Vaz's favorite word against him. He loves to say people are bad mind. Well, he is bad mind in Mark Golding. Let us read on. Let me repeat for emphasis. If Mr. Vaz had not renewed his passport but retained his American citizenship, there could have been no doubt that he had obtained American citizenship involuntarily, and no question of disqualification could have arisen. Had Mr. Vaz not renewed and traveled on his American passport, it could not have been argued that he was under any acknowledgement of allegiance to the United States of America by virtue of his own act. It is not, listen to this carefully now, comrades and friends. Listen to this carefully, because this is vitally important. Yes, as somebody is saying, remember that Rosalie on YouTube is saying that Vaz's mother was a white woman from the USA. That is quite true. And this is what the court is explaining. That he would have gotten his American citizenship by virtue of his mother, which is similar. No, he's born in Jamaica, Dean. Which is similar to how the comrade leader got his citizenship, his British citizenship. He got his British citizenship involuntarily, because there is the British system has in its constitution a law called citizenship by descent. Not D-E-C-E-N-T, D-E-S-C-E-N-T, which means you are the descendant of a British citizen. That's what it means. Most Commonwealth countries have it running up, even Jamaica. Right? This is why the football team can go recruit people who live in UK to play football for Jamaica. Wanna see how it tie in now? It's a Commonwealth rule. This is why reggae boys can go recruit the people them were born in America, not America and UK, for come play for Jamaica if them have a Jamaican parent. Because once you have a Jamaican parent, you can be a Jamaican citizen if you come and apply for your Jamaican passport. That's all you have to do. Prove that you're come with it. So when the Indian them come the other day, you know, so them did I try do it, man. Don't forget when them smuggle the Indian them come in the other day. I saw them did I try, you know. They were trying to say that they were descendants of Jamaicans, producing bogus birth certificates. Jason, it is the point. Because if you are listening here, only don't block Jason yet. Moderators, don't block Jason yet. Let us explain this point to Jason. You see, this document that I have above me, it's what I am reading. The court ruling for Daryl Vaz, in Daryl Vaz's case. And I'm going to repeat for you, Jason, right? What the court ruled. Because you seem to think that just because you are a citizen of another country, that is what disqualifies you. Listen to me now, Jason. I want you to hear. All right? Moderators, don't block Jason Wallace. I'm going to explain to him. I'm going to repeat so those who are just coming can hear. This is the case where Daryl Vaz was disqualified as a member of parliament of Western Portland because he was a citizen of the United States. This document I have above me, this is the ruling. Listen carefully. Don't block him yet. I want him to hear. As a citizen of the United States of America, Mr. Vaz is entitled to obtain a United States passport. Mr. Vaz is the holder of a valid United States passport which he has maintained, renewed, and used for travel to various countries noted in it before and after his nomination in the 2007 general election. On several occasions, Mr. Vaz has presented himself to immigration authorities as being an American citizen, and when he did so, understood his obligations as such. If Mr. Vaz had not renewed his passport, but had retained his listen to this now, this is the clincher, Jason. This is the clincher that I want you to hear. If Mr. Vaz had not renewed and traveled on his United States passport, it could not have been argued that he was under any acknowledgement of allegiance to the United States of America by virtue of his own act. Listen carefully. It is not owing to allegiance to the United States of America by virtue of being a citizen of that country that is a ground for disqualification. I hope you're listening. It is not owing of allegiance. So what they are saying is they are not disqualifying him because of his allegiance to the United States. Right? But rather the voluntary taking of steps to acknowledge that citizenship that causes his disqualification. So the act of renewing his passport, because like Golding, listen to the similarities now, Jason. Daryl Vaz was born of an American mother in Jamaica. Mark Golding was born of a British father in Jamaica. Daryl Vaz's mother ensured that he had British American citizenship. Sir John Golding, by virtue of him being Mark Golding's father, automatically caused Mark Golding to be a British citizen by no action of his own. His father, when he was a child, did, according to the CL, did take out a passport for him. But according to Mark Golding, he has not renewed this passport. So according to the court documents that we have obtained, where Vaz's case is concerned, it is the act of renewing his American passport that disqualifies him. Mark Golding did not renew his British passport. That is number one. Number two, UK, Britain, is a Commonwealth country. So even if Mark Golding did renew his British passport, he would still be eligible because Britain is a member of the Commonwealth. However, Mark Golding has stated categorically that he does not currently possess a British passport. Mark Golding has also gone further to state that he travels on a Jamaican passport with a British visa. Now I want to know this. I have a question. Since Britain gives their own citizens visas to enter their country, and Jason, I want you to think about this. If Mark Golding is a British citizen, why would he require a British visa to enter the UK? And don't for a minute think that these people in the JLP, in the upper echelons of the JLP, don't know this. They are very much aware. Not renewed according to the Jamaican law. And what let me tell you what Clyde Williams, esteemed attorney, explained on his account on Twitter. It is, and I'm addressing you, Jason, because Mr. say you want to learn. It is the act of swearing allegiance to a foreign country which disqualifies you. So if you are a Jamaican to an American parent who, as a child, you obtain citizenship because of no act of your own, but when your passport expire, you never renew it, you have not sworn allegiance to that foreign power because you became a citizen involuntarily. Mark Golding is a citizen of Britain involuntarily through no act of his own. His citizenship is automatic. He has not sworn allegiance to Britain. According to the law in the ruling against Vaz et al., it is renewing your passport that seals the deal. Mark Golding, as an esteemed, noted attorney at law, knowing full well that he was going to be in the Senate, was light years ahead of them. So what did he do? He ensured that he never renewed his British passport. And even if he did renew it, Britain is a member of the Commonwealth. Britain, Canada, Australia, the Caribbean islands, the English-speaking ones, the whole heap of the African countries, the 50-odd member states of the Commonwealth. If you're a citizen of any of them, once you come to Jamaica and live here for a year, you can run for office. You can either be in the Senate or the House of Representatives. And don't for a minute think that the labor rights don't know this, but they are banking on your ignorance, Jason. Because why? They want to distract you. Knowing full well that Mark Golding cannot be disqualified from running for any position. Mark Golding is a born Jamaican man. So Matthew Samuda, quite right, Ronnie Bob. Matthew Samuda is also a dual citizen, by virtue of his mother being an English woman, similar to Mark Golding, a white English woman. Did you know that, Jason? Matthew Samuda is in the same predicament. He was born in Jamaica from a British woman. And by virtue of that, he is a citizen of the UK by descent as well. Many of them are. Babsy Grange is a citizen of Canada. But as a member of the Commonwealth, they are not disqualified. But what they are doing is distracting you from what we really need to talk about. Yes, we know a lot as comrades, because comrade have sense, and one comrade worth more than 1,000 labor rights. We talked about this in the last life, comrades. Friday night wasn't that the reading, the sermon? Wasn't that the sermon? One comrade can take on more than 1,000 labor rights because we have more sense than them. Of course, we're brilliant. Why YouTube, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, YouTube. Big up on yourself, you know, YouTube. Hey, YouTube, I go on, you know. Best believe, so we'll have over 30 people on the YouTube, you know. I'm proud of myself. Big up on yourself. Pastor Ricky, I see you over there on YouTube. Yes, somebody was saying take a picture of the, yes, Rick, you are quite right. Take a picture of the license plate. So, you see, comrades, this week we're going into something we're going to call Good Governance Week, you know. Because while we are talking about Somebody asking where Mark Golding born. Mark Golding was born at the University Hospital of the West Indies, July 1965. That's where he was born. His mother, Lady Patricia Golding, is actually a Jamaican woman. And I'm going to briefly give you Mark Golding's history. Now we're going to answer them because a lot of them genuinely do not know. Twitch, they have allowed the JLP to full up their minor lies. Mark Golding's father is a British man by the name of Sir John Golding, a renowned world-renowned orthopedic surgeon who came to Jamaica by chance. He was vacationing in Jamaica for a 2-week stint on his way to take up a position in the United States of America where he was appointed, and came to Jamaica. And when he came to Jamaica for his mini vacation, there was an outbreak of poliomyelitis, which is a deadly disease. The government of the day, in recognizing who he was, asked him to stay back and help. Of that he did, saving thousands of Jamaican lives. While he was here, he set up numerous clinics, treated the sick. Polio left many paralyzed. He set up a rehabilitation center for them. During that time, he met and fell in love with Patricia Levy, who is a Jamaican woman. Married her. The union produced 2 children. Mark Golding has a sister, an older sister. Mark Golding wasn't born when his father was a young man. He spoke about this. He was born, that is it, he was born when his father was well in his 40s. When Mark Golding was born, his father was a mature man. Mark Golding was born at the University Hospital of the West Indies. Educated at Mona Prep School and Campion College before pursuing a law degree in the United Kingdom. Returned to Jamaica and was called to the bar in Jamaica. Then went to Oxford University in UK. Yes, the Levis. His mom is actually related to the family that owns Jamaica Broilers, the Levis. She's a cousin of them. One family, the Levy family, we own broilers, the same family. You following me? What's up, Master Garden? How you do? But you see, we like to allow labor rights to distract us from the truth all the time, comrades and friends. Yes, they own Jamaica Broilers, the chicken place, Best Dressed Chicken. It's the same family. Mark Golding is their cousin on his maternal side. And that is his antecedent. There are many, many Jamaicans who are born to foreign parents. We gave some examples. Matthew Samuda being one, Daryl Vaz being another, who are both labor rights. But let me tell you what earthed up Killer Vaz's head. The fact that after giving up his US citizenship, after renouncing his US citizenship, the same country would not give him a visa. The USA would not give him a visa, comrades. They would not give him a visa. And that earthed up his head. Lost his visa, lost his ability to travel to the US. He only recently got back his visa. No, him get it back now, Twitch. Him get it back probably about 2 years ago. Wanna following me? every time I come on this live, when you call in labor right name, please do not refer to labor. I'm going to implement a rule over here. I don't want to call no labor right name over my live. I don't want a labor right name get called on my live. We no business about them. This is a labor right free zone. We don't want to refer to. Don't bust nobody upon my live. He got it under condition, Lynn. You are right. After enough begging and pleading and interceding, he was able to get it back. But it is so strange to me that a former citizen who gives up his citizenship to serve his country cannot get a visa. Something in and something don't it. Something well into something, comrades and friends. Something well into something. That is what I am talking about. Good evening, Janet Jones. That is what I am talking about. I hear rumors that it was a single entry him get. I don't know. The bottom line is at one point the man never have no visa. Another one who is having a meltdown over there in Twitter land is Juliet Cuthbert, who has had some very racist rants over there on Twitter. And what we need to find out too is if she have a visa. So all the time they're busy judging Mark Golding. Mark Golding have a Jamaican passport with an American visa and a UK visa in it. So all who judging him about where him come from and who father plant this and plant sugar cane and land and blah blah blah, we need to ask them if them have visa. We get into the illicit six, you know. But we're not only talking about the illicit six, we're talking about Andrew Holness's declarations which the Integrity Commission cannot certify. So every time they ask you about Mark Golding's passport and in British citizenship, we need to ask them, where is the Prime Minister's statutory declarations? March gone is 4 years since the Prime Minister's declarations have been certified. 4 years. 4 years. His last declaration was in the last certified declaration was in 2020. It is now 2024 when it is due again, and it is still yet to be certified. So when they come to us asking us about Mark Golding's citizenship, which is neither here nor there really, comrades, because whether he's a British citizen or not, it will not disqualify him from anything. It will not change the price of rice in China, because if he's a British citizen or a dual citizen or whatever, Britain is a Commonwealth country. Oh, Marcia, okay, I see, you know, I see a Marcia. I know who you are now. 1968 vibes. The visa contained that. One of you moderators, pin Lynn's comment for me, please. The visa contained an annotation that reads 2012 small d waiver 2012. Interesting. I need to research that visa waiver. We need to research that visa waiver. Oh, is that what they told you, Omri? But the Integrity Commission themselves are the ones who release data that they are investigating 6 parliamentarians. And when the PNP en bloc came forward and said that none of them were being investigated by the Integrity Commissioner Omri. Andrew Holness put a gag order on his MPs. So Omri, you tell me now. Let me find that for you. I'm going to find it for you, I'm going to find it for you. Let me find that for you, because that is very important. Integrity. Because sometimes we need proof. Right? Sometimes we need proof. Here we go. So this is from Loop News, 11th of July, 2023. On the top of the screens, comrades, on say I nearly get shut down for inactivity on TikTok. Tap up the screen for me on the do. No make TikTok shut down the live. Oh, I am good, Sharon. So this is from Loop News, Omri, and this is from the 11th of July, 2023. 6 politicians under Integrity Commission probe for illicit enrichment. 6 Jamaican parliamentarians are currently being investigated for illicit enrichment by the country's anti-corruption watchdog, the Integrity Commission. Exactly, Janet. Why put a gag order on your... We're going to continue reading though. The disclosure is contained in the 2022 to 2023 annual report of the Commission that was tabled Tuesday in the House of Representatives. Thank you, Richie. Thank you. Lynn, beg you send it to my inbox as well. As is customary, the lawmakers have not been named while the probe is ongoing. I hope Omri is listening. Listen, Omri, listen. Illicit enrichment refers to a significant increase in assets of a public official that he or she cannot reasonably explain in relation to his or her lawful income. So me put 2 and 2 together, and me wondering if the illicit enrichment is the reason why Andrew statutory declarations can get certified by the Integrity Commission. Controlled substance trafficking to rotted. Twitch, that is for another day. We're not going to get into that today. Yes, Omri. So when they tell you that it is a lie, now let me prove to you that the Prime Minister put his parliamentarians aligned to the JLP on a gag order. We're going to share that. We're going to share that. No, I don't want to share it from what the PNP say. I want to share it. I want to share the gag clause. Aye. Oh, Twitch send it to me. All right, Twitch. I see what you're saying. I'm not finding it, but it is there. And let me put in another search. Andrew Holness. Holness pulls up empty net in search for MPs under probe. Prime Minister says consultations with the government lawmakers to ascertain whether they are being investigated by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment has elicited a negative response. I have asked far and wide, and I haven't got that response from everyone, as far as I am told no. I want to find the gag order where he has not allowed them to talk. Here we go. A few months ago, the call was that government members and public officials, listen carefully, should refrain from any form of conflict, caustic debate on the issue, and that we should allow the Integrity Commission to work without any form of interference. Thank you, Yogi. He said that the Integrity Commission should be allowed to go through the process that it has been duly legislated in Parliament, and that the results of any probe should be disclosed when complete. Opposition leader Mark Golding said on Thursday that the government's decision to bar government lawmakers from commenting on the Integrity Commission related matters and the identities of the 6 legislators under investigation is shocking and deeply concerning. He argued that the notion of creating a policy to shield ministers from speaking is a glaring attempt to obstruct transparency and evade the responsibility of elected officials to the Jamaican people. You hear? Andrew Holness put them under lockdown, gag order, so they cannot speak about it. So Omre, when you hear, thank you, Lynn, when you hear them talk about no such thing as Integrity Commission illicit 6, is a lie from the pit of hell. Because it is in the media and there is a gag order. And Andrew Holness to this day, and you hear me kill the mosquito them under the table, boy. The gag order was listed in the IC Act for the commissioners not to speak until but not parliamentarians with Pastor Ricky. Thank you for that, Pastor Ricky. The IC, the Integrity Commission, is under gag order, but not the parliamentarians. The parliamentarians could always come out and indicate whether they are under investigation or not. Simple thing. However, Andrew Holness put them under lockdown. Vaz gets back visa with visitors. Alright. So Lynn sent me something and Twitch sent me something. We're going to expose what was sent. Vaz gets back US visitors visa with rare waiver. And this was September 24, 2021. And we have here a picture of Daryl Wesley Vaz's visa, aka Killer Vaz. Remember, it's not me call him, so him call himself so. The foreigner come take me on. The United States Embassy in Kingston has reinstated the visitor's visa for Energy, Science and Technology Minister Daryl Vaz after two years after it was revoked for reasons unknown. Amen, Patsy. Amen. Talk it truth. Daryl Vaz bring it up. But they try to fool Jamaican people all the time. Vaz today was issued with a 1 year. A 1 year multiple entry. So this may expire again. This is from 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. So Daryl Vaz visa expire again. But But the man visa expire. I was really going in a John shop. VAS was issued a 1-year multiple entry B1, B2 visa with a rare waiver. You know, say, but Daryl don't have no shame, you know. Daryl don't have no shame. Me never hear about 1-year visa yet. Me hear about 5 year and me hear about 10 year. The average Jamaican adult gets, when they're getting a visa, is a 10-year visa. Pitney get 5 year. I think Pitney start get 10 year now. Because when me renew my Pitney, them own a 10 years. And the man get a 1-year visa and put it in. I want to sneeze. And put it in the media. Maybe him renew it yes ranking, and that I want to know. We will see if him travel again. The visa contained an annotation that reads 212 small d and 3A waiver of 212A with 2C and 1. Under US immigration law 212A 2C1 Under US immigration law 212A 2C1 speaks to controlled substance traffickers. Jesus Christ. Then Kilavas really expose himself, so you mean to tell me, say, the US embassy, the US people, them have Kilavas as a controlled substance trafficker? A controlled substance is like drugs? So him is a trafficker? Is that what this is in the Gleaner, you know? This is in the Gleaner. This need a whole video by itself, because right now my brain discombobulated. Oh, this did pass me. In 2021, what was I doing? I was probably on my COVID. I was probably on my mission, my COVID mission, my C-19 mission. It refers to a visitor who the consular officer or the United States Attorney General knows, listen to this, knows or has reason to believe is or has been an illicit trafficker in any controlled substance, in any listed chemical, or is or has been known, a known aider, abettor, assister, conspirator, or colluder with others in the illicit trafficking in any controlled substance or chemical. So them I said, Daryl, a drugs man? Is that what the US Embassy, the US State Department is saying? The US Attorney General is saying? Jesus Christ, Blade Brown, Jesus Christ. Ian Fleming International Airport, Toronto. La-da-dee. VAS has declined to comment on the annotation. However, he had previously denied wrongdoing. Meanwhile, U.S. Immigration Attorney Wayne Golden told the Gleaner, in granting the waiver, the U.S. Embassy would have looked at VAS's background and anything that could have made him inadmissible to the United States. He said a person can be deemed inadmissible to the US because of a number of things, including health or drug-related issues. So if he's inadmissible, it's either because of him health or him drugs-related in drugs. I wonder if him unhealthy. I don't know if they're real sick, because according to the US immigration person, course, Rosalie, that's what I'm saying. I just renewed my kids and I got my grandkids visa during last year, and every single one of them, including the baby, them get 10-year visa. Because me couldn't deal with the COVID rush. So me wait out the C19. And me renew everybody last year. And everybody get 10 year. And the baby them we're getting them first one is 10 year them get to. It is unclear what they are saying he is believed to have done, but that's the clause under which they granted the waiver. They are saying you are inadmissible under the category, but we are granting you a waiver. Golding said, adding that it is not uncommon for the consular office to grant this kind of waiver. Golding said people in the US often fail to get such a waiver. In the US, all a consular office has to do is to have reason to believe based on information he or she has. Sometimes it can also be an accusation and they take note of it. It doesn't mean the person is guilty of doing it. So somebody accuse him of doing it. What is him have him name mixed up in their God? The one over St. Thomas, him not get back for him own yet, you know. So I wonder what for him on. Him sick? Or them things that him trafficking illicit substance, illegal substance too? And that me want to know. Because this sounds serious. This sounds serious. It sounds serious. So what I want to know is now if him get it serious. I want to know if the 1 year up now, if him did renew, if it renew, or if it expire and him just don't get it back. St. Thomas will never get another one. Jesus. Them say cockroach no business in foul fight. Vaz's US visa was revoked in 2019 with politician indicating that he would resign from the cabinet if the document was not restored. At the time, he was minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. What an atrocity. Portland St. Pastor Ricky is saying Portland St. Thomas St. James so-called that my dear. When you say a criminal you not have in a government Jamaicans. Dr. Det, me don't even know if Dr. Det can travel. Oh my God, what a lala. Let me see what Twitch said me now. What a lala. This is very interesting. It's some here, Patsy. Oh, the Archer one is so much. Then is so much of them not have no visa, Lord. So you mean you have a whole government without visa we can't travel? Wanna talk to me there? Anyway, Jamaicans, make we go and talk. Make we go and talk because we have enough more to talk about. So you see, comrades, when we and Jamaicans, just comrades and friends. Patsy, I will do so. When we talk about good governance now, when we talk about good governance, we have to talk about the type of people we have representing us. Not so, Pastor Ricky. Them come in like Mexico. It feels like Mexico. With all sorts of drug cartels. That's how it feels to me. Aye, sir. This is serious. But as me said to you, you know, we want to talk about good governance. Because that is what we come here to talk about. And this week we're looking at good governance the whole week, right? We are committed to distinguishing the difference between the PNP and the JLP. And why Jamaica is in the need of good governance now, because for the past 8 years, we are being governed by thugs and criminals. If you don't see me scratching my head, is because mosquito biting me in my head here. You see the part, the mosquito them are going bad. May I look for the slide them, because we want to talk about them, comrades. We want to discuss them. So we want to talk about a list of things this week. Let me find the slides that I'm looking for. So social justice, comrades. We want to discuss the beach access. And we're going to discuss some tonight. We'll discuss some tomorrow night. But we want everybody on the same page. When we're talking about good governance, comrades. I'm just going to do something to see if we can get it up over YouTube too, so that they can read along. YouTube, bear with me. I am trying to include you in the conversation. We will implement a progressive beach access policy to ensure that the public has reasonable access to Jamaica's beaches, as done in other Caribbean islands, which also enjoy a strong tourism industry. Beach access is important for our people's recreation and leisure. It was Comrade Dr. Ryan Simpson on this very program last week, comrades, who informed us that less than 1% of Jamaican beaches were accessible to Jamaicans, completely free of cost. You know, we're in a sad state of affairs, right? We are in a sad state of affairs, comrades, when we have a nation of 3 million people who cannot access beaches and public water bodies. We are in a terrible state, comrades, when we are in a country where if you don't have resources, you don't have no beach to go to. So the little children, them, the fishermen and women, fisher folk, have nowhere to ply them trade. We are in a very sad state of affairs. Yes, YouTube, me a boss on now. We are in a very sad state of affairs, comrades, when we have to pay to access beaches. Some of the little beach them where we used to go for free, when you go now, somebody capture it, put up fence, and charging you $1,000 and $1,500 and $2,000 to access it. But they don't realize this. Wanna see what a clock a strike? This is what is happening now, you know. We now have to pay to access our own beaches, till we have people from other Caribbean islands laughing at us. We hear Barbadians and St. Lucians when they are demonstrating for beach rights, singing their beach rights songs, saying they don't want to be like Jamaica, where the people can't go on their own beaches. They have to pay to go on their own beaches because beaches are free. I have visited many Caribbean territories. Cuba, Dam Rep, Puerto Rico, Guadeloupe, Trinidad and Tobago, Antigua. Jamaica is the only country I've ever been to that you pay to go on your beaches. I've never seen it anywhere else, not even just in the Caribbean. I went to the beach when I was in El Salvador. Didn't pay to go on that beach either. I didn't pay to go on that beach either. I didn't pay to go on the beach when I got to Mexico. So I want to understand, comrades, why it is that we have to pay to go to the beach. Of course, Cayman must be laughing at us. Why is it that we have to pay to use the beach in Jamaica? Why is it that people are being removed from the beaches? I went to a small island, a French colony, 2 years ago, called Guadeloupe. Very small island, French colony. Them use euro. I went for the Caribbean Games. And the beaches there are free. Every hotel have a walkway between it. The hotels cannot be conjoined. So you have to leave access point for the beach. There has to be a passageway. So if your hotel have a big spread, they have to split the property and put a passageway leading from the main road to the beach, because the people have to access the beach. So why is it in Jamaica that them take way for Kunomono? And them selling and privatizing the beaches left, right, and center. And then telling us, you see what they're telling us is that they have to charge because we're going to nasty up the place. So I want to ask the government if them think Jamaica is the only country on earth with a littering problem. That is what I want to know. Do they believe that Jamaica is the only country on this planet with a littering problem? There you go, Atikel. The other day, some billionaire was building house on some beach and tried to lock out the people them. This was in America. They say one of Biden's donors, a billionaire, a US billionaire in California. And he was taken to court by the people. And they won. And he had to lick down him structure and allow them passage to the beach. Because beach rights is universal. Imagine you live on an island and you cannot find a beach to go. What sort of an atrocity is that? What sort of atrocity is that? Don't answer me that. What kind of foolishness is that? And so, this is, now, when you think about what is happening even out at Bob Marley Beach. Bob Marley Beach, where we have a lot of Jamaican people who are being forcefully removed from the beach because they want to make way for a new development. The government wants to lease the land to foreign entities to put hotel out there and displace Jamaicans who have lived there for greater than 50 years. All in the name of development, while poor people must suck salt through wooden spoon. You don't say that again. I want to know how long Jamaican people must suffer. Thank you, Blade Brown, Blue Lagoon gone. But I'm happy to see the people in Portland standing up for them rights. But one thing I know, when Mark Golding comes into power, and it's not if, it's when Mark Golding becomes the Prime Minister, he will have to do a lot to restore beach access. I will personally be holding him accountable on that. That is something that I will be paying attention to, because that is a promise he's making, and I want him to, listen, just because we are comrades, it doesn't mean we mustn't hold our party accountable, you know. It doesn't mean that we must not hold our party accountable, comrades. Because at the end of the day, we have to hold our government to a higher standard than these demonic labor rights we belong in a sepulchre we don't care. See, sitting here watching you late for the live. I suggest you back up your live and watch it from the top, and then you tell me. Right? We're not going down that road there again. We're done with that now. And I'm not going to ask this question from here to eternity about Mark Golding citizenship. We're not going there so again. Him have to, Pastor Ricky, him have to change the beach access and make it free, because that is what we're holding him to. We're holding him to that because that is what him promised we. We're number 2, they know. We have got through, you know. Alright. We're gonna, but this is 2 different things, man. I see number 2, failures in good governance, and this one says social justice. Lord have mercy, what a confusion. What a confusion. 2 different number 2. I just want to make sure I say YouTube and TikTok have the same message. So just bear with me there, because I have 2 number 2 in front of me. And 1 number 2 the okay, I see my problem. It's the wrong one I'm looking at. I see where my mistake is. Make we talk about the social justice first before we talk about failure in good governance. Alright, we're going to talk about the pensioners now. Give me a minute there. Alright, this is supposed to be it now. That is right. So we want to talk about the pensioners, which is also very important. Our pensioners are really struggling, and much more is needed to be done for them. Administrative changes to facilitate the speedy commencement of pension payments to retired employees is impatient of debate, and we have other creative proposals for expanding pension benefits to relieve the suffering of our pensioners. It took my mother almost 10 years to get her pension. But for my mother is a true hustler, you know. So if you don't have that hustling spirit like Miss Marcia, dog me mess up if you're supposed to, if you're near pensionable age under this government. For my mother always working. Because it took her so long to get her pension. And Mr. Dougie, them call him back. So even when she retire, him can't retire because Statin never want let him go. But I met up on a teacher the other day who was in a bad way. Because him retire, them have, you see, I think some chickini going on with these people who deal with the pension, you know, is NIS. Them have issue, yes, Escobar, them have issue with birth rate and talking about say them want to expand extend the retirement age working. Them want the people them work themselves into oblivion. That is what they want. So when the people them supposed to go home and retire, them no want that. Sundari, why are you trying to? Sundari, I see you. I see you, Sundari, I see you. Hi, baby. It asks me if I want to invite you. Hi, Boogie. You see how my daughter support me when I realize that my daughter come on my live every night. Big up you for the supporting us, sonny. Big up you. Every night you come on my live. Big up you. So, in terms of the pensioners, I was talking to a, alright, yes, my one daughter. So I was talking to a pensioner the other day who was explaining to me this life, what them call it, life certificate. What they're basically saying is you have to prove that you're alive to them every couple months. And if you don't prove that you're alive in time, them don't send the money to you. So let us say you are in the hospital or something, or you have some kind of emergency now and you don't get to send in your life certificate on time. The people them stop sending money to you. Thank you, Escobar. Tell her taps and roses and money gun. Yes, yes, Sonny. Lego the gifts, Sonny. The taps and the roses. Yeah, man, send it on. So they were trying to explain this life certificate to me now, saying basically that you have to prove to these people every couple months that you are alive, or them stop sending money to you. So a lot of pensioners are unable to do so for one reason or the other. And the sheer bureaucracy of the situation makes it difficult to a lot of people. So they are being shorted of their money. And if for 1 minute you don't get to send your life certificate, for one reason or the other, they assume that you are unalive and stop sending you the money. Dog, and it's a son little pittance to you must see what them get. Comrades and friends, you must see. Comrades, friends and daughters, them take your money. And you have some big scam going on there too. When you listen to the call-in station them at daytime, you know, and you hear the poor elderly people them, you know that you can block on your live. Yeah, I know, Pastor Ricky, but sometimes we just ignore. Me soon figure that out on YouTube. It's a whole heap of multitask. I don't have the type of brain to multitask, you know. I tend to stick to one task at hand and do it to perfection. So when you require this brain now to multitask, it now got to work out. They do it for the path and they do it for the pensioners. Right? These people find every way to not pay out the money that they need to pay out to the poor people. The people who need it the most. They find a way to not pay out the money to the people who need it the most. And the pensioners are in dire strait. The pensioners are in dire strait. I was talking to somebody the other day who is not even a pensioner, a government worker. And I don't mean to strain, but it just, you know my brain statement. Just remember it. If I don't talk it while I remember it, I'm not going to get to talk it. And Wagwan Hilda. And she said she literally showed me her pay slip. She's a government worker. A government worker. And with this public sector reclassification where they're boasting about and claiming that the people are getting more money, she showed me that she's taking home less money. She showed me her 2 pay slip them. What she was taking home before and what she's taking home now. And she is taking home, her net salary is less. About $20,000 less. So she's supposed to have gotten an increase and she end up with less. Make this make sense now and but them both round. Them going around the place and boasting about all them. The only people them paid more money is themselves. The people who need the money the most, they are shortchanging them. That is it, Mrs. Escobar. Them give with spoon, take back with shovel. Yes, Mrs. Escobar, a correctional officer also told me that. Them get a big chop out of them money. The immigration people, the customs people, them complain too. Because customs officer come complain to me too. This person who I'm telling you about work in administration. Work in administration, and she going home with less money. What they do, SPT, is they take all of the add-ons, where you call them not the extra benefit them, the allowances. They take the allowances that were non-taxable and roll it into the taxable portion and tax everything. So a lot of people end up getting less money. Well, Jermaine, whether it makes sense to you or not, this is what is happening. And she told me she's going to redact her pay stubs and show it and send it to me so that I can put it out there. So when she does, I will. She says she's taking home $20,000 less. So while the government has given themselves a 200% increase, our average Jamaicans are taking home less money. What they are doing is they are eliminating the middle class, and them only basically them wipe out the middle class. So Jamaica only have two classes, the rich and the poor, turning us into Haiti. That is what them doing. And when we tell them, say them turning us into Haiti, them cuss and them carry on and them say we wicked. Them say with this, with that, we don't mean Jamaica any good. But that is exactly what they are doing. That is exactly what they are doing. This is not Haiti if you eliminate the middle class. The very poor and the very rich. Nobody in between. So you'll be working for all the days of your life. And you can't see the ends meet. You can't make ends meet. You're working only to send yourself to work another day. Tell me how that makes sense now. How that makes sense. Make I look for the next one now. Because we are go through some of them tonight. We now go through all of them. Can't take on all of them tonight, but we're going through. So we're looking now at the Domestic Violence Act. This is the third one. We're not going to do any more after this one, and we're going to open up the box and do some talking. So the Domestic Violence Act. We will complete the long outstanding review of the Domestic Violence Act. Move quickly to implement the recommendations arising from that review and establish support centers in every parish to provide safe havens for survivors of domestic violence and other gender-based violence. Domestic violence means a lot to me because I am a survivor of domestic violence. A lot of people don't know that. I don't speak about it a lot anymore because my ex-husband and myself are on good terms now. And we on very good terms to the point where we can almost be called friends. So I have been through the period where I've overcome and I've gone to counseling and I have dealt with my issues. But as somebody who has gone through it, I can tell you something. It takes a lot of support for the victims to overcome. That is it, Mrs. Escobar. Them working for taxi fare and lunch. Them lucky if them can't eat a proper lunch when them done pay for transportation. You are so right. But let us look at domestic violence. You see, comrades and friends, with domestic violence, people always wonder, why is it that the woman can't leave? And I'm going to tell you something. When a woman has made her life with a man, it is hard for her to pick up herself and find somewhere to go. Leave her home, especially when there are kids involved. Or man, thank you Twitch, because you have a lot of men who also suffer from domestic abuse. It's mostly women, but there are also men. And I'm glad you brought that up. Because see, we have seen in recent times where a woman unalive her husband. Them say she mentally, whatever, incidentally the man was a policeman. And he was a sufferer of domestic abuse just a few years ago, if I remember correctly. She tried to off herself as well and it never worked out. Right? But when a woman makes a life with a man in her house and she has no alternative, she's gonna stay there. When you say the peacemaker, you suffer from it too. It happens, and I will never ever judge anybody having been somebody who has been through it before. But what these women need is support and options. Options. Because at the end of the day, the longer they stay in the situation is the worse it is gonna get. It's only going to get worse. The key to it is giving them, as comrade leader says, safe haven. They need somewhere that they and their children can go and rebuild their lives. During COVID, you know, when the domestic violence numbers shot way up because people were basically in closed environment together. Remember during COVID when everybody together and nobody now work, everybody frustrated, money now around, whole heap of people, whole heap of people were frustrated. Domestic violence cases went up. I was doing a lot of advocating during that time to help get some of these women out of their situations. And sometimes the man them follow them, you know, comrades and friends. Sometimes the men follow them and try to bring them back into the situation. So sometimes we have to find a way for them to leave the situation without the man's knowledge. We have to advise them to move things little. Don't do a big move, because that is when the man gets violent, or woman, whichever way you want to look at it. Yes, Mrs. Escobar, a lot of divorces happened during COVID. You are so right. A lot of people realized that them simply couldn't live together. A lot of people realized that. But a lot of people got abused as well. A lot of people became closer. Like I personally think that COVID was good for my marriage, because, you know, we lived such complicated, busy lives. My husband is a workaholic. Work long hours. Leave home by 4 every morning. Come in sometimes 9 o'clock. So when there was a lockdown, it did us very well. We could connect on the spiritual level that we've always been connected on. My husband is my best friend. Even before we were married, before we were in a relationship, he was my best friend. And I thought that we lost some of that connection, but COVID actually did good for me. A lot of people didn't experience that, however. COVID brought out the worst in a lot of people's marriage. A lot of people. Yeah, man. Help out, yes, that is it, Pastor Ricky. And for a while, that was my calling until like the COVID overwhelmed us and we had to focus on it. But for a while, that was my calling, helping the people them. You understand? And so this is something that we need to talk about. Twitch, you're quite right, because a lot of abusers say they are suffering from mental health conditions. A lot of abusers are suffering from mental health issues. I've seen a lot of elderly people, for instance, who COVID made them totally unhinged, and they experienced domestic violence in them old age during the COVID too. Remember that you had a couple of cases of elderly men killing elderly women during COVID, you know. Because when them reach a certain age and the COVID is making them paranoid, and they're in each other's face all the time, it became too much for them to bear. Exactly, Pastor Ricky. We have to help the victims to become the victors. And so if the PNP can create the safe haven for them, we have to look at this. We have to give the victims somewhere to go and start over, especially when there are children involved, because let me tell you something. You see, my eldest child, my son, my boy, I want to say me prouder. He witnessed a lot of the abuse that I went through, a toxic, very abusive marriage, and he was witness to a lot of it, and it affected him. So don't think that these things don't affect the children. And I had to get him help to overcome it. It's a whole heap of work I put into my boy picnic to get him to be an adjusted adult. It's a lot of unlearning. I have a good friend who joins my life sometimes, that thank God for her. Or that kiss the ground she walk on, because as a behavioral specialist, she worked with my boy for basically over a year to get him to accept and settle down. And so we have to think about the children who are exposed to the abuse. Thank you, Twitch. That is it, Twitch. Pastor Ricky, definitely. I will definitely be an advocate for domestic violence, gender-based violence. I have done interviews on it. I've been on podcasts. I've spoken about it. The reason them not use me up so much again is because them say me a PNP, and you know, so them not like PNP more time. So them try to minimize what we have to say, because they don't understand the power that comrades have. A lot of people used to ask me, somebody with such a big personality as mine, who is so vocal, how is it that how I ended up in a situation like that? And I'm going to open the box shortly on TikTok. But I will say this, I was ashamed. It is for exactly that reason, comrades and friends, that it happened. Because when it started happening, I couldn't bring myself to tell anybody that it was happening, because I was ashamed. That's what it boiled down to. Your shame say somebody can do these things to you, because you see other people going through it, and you always say it could never happen to you until it does. I wrote, Pastor Ricky, I actually journaled on my Facebook page. I'm sure I can find them. I did a lot of journaling on my Facebook page, and that is what helps through my healing process. I had to let it out. So I'm sure if I go back through my Facebook page, I will see it, because a lot of people at that time did not know. And when I shared my story, perhaps, and you can't share it immediately after either. It takes your time to grieve, to accept. First and foremost, my ex-husband shamed me. He never only abused me physically, he abused me mentally, spiritually, financially. Every alley you think about, I go through it. My husband, my story, I was one of the first ever persons that revenge porn happened to. I was revenge porn from back in 2007, 2008. At the hands of my ex-husband at the time. I don't speak about it a lot. And God knows, as I say, I have forgiven him, but sometimes you have to tell your story to help others. And every time you leave, him find a way to woo you back. Because what his point is to ruin you for other people, so that nobody else don't want you. I remember breaking up with him the last time. I remember breaking up with him the last time. Because the thing about it, is every time you break up and you go back, you isolate yourself. No, my ex-husband twitch. My husband no, so my husband now helps rescue me from my situation. But every time you leave and you go back, your support system becomes more and more exasperated with you. So every time you go back, you lose some of your support system who don't think you should go back. And sometimes they don't realize you don't have a choice. But me, big up Marcy and Douglas, my parents, because when them realize what I was going through, them never leave my side. And how I ended up leaving, I tell my story all the time. I raised enough money to ship my ex-husband to Nigeria on a one-way ticket during the Ebola outbreak. I kid you not. At the time it was 2,500 US. I raised that money and sent him to Nigeria one way. And then I settle down my life and move on. By the time him come back, I'm gone. It's not everybody can do that, but sometimes you have to find a way to disappear. You have to find a way to disappear. And when him come back, of course, he tried to interrupt my life and continue where him leave off. But by that time, me gone, move Ghana Garden Town, gone go stay with my current husband. So when him come back, I gone. And Pastor Ricky, cock your ears, because it might not have been done properly, but he was my savior. Because he offered me somewhere he offered me an asylum. Somewhere that my ex-husband could not access me. Because if I went to my parents' home, he would access me there. And the fighting would start. First and foremost, before I ship him off, everywhere him see me, him start fight me. When you know, say I was a dancer, right? I shouldn't say was, I should say am, but I kind of doing studying and I put on a leap of weight. Oh God, if you don't see me now, I put on. And remember how I used to boast about my 6-pack? Jesus, I put on about 20 pounds. Study weight. And I haven't been dancing in a while, but I'm a dancer. And I would be teaching a dance class, for instance. I used to do a lot of teaching back then. Yes, he attacked me publicly, Mrs. Escobar. He attacked me publicly. I was teaching one day, dancing to a class as a guest tutor. And the man come there and see me and attack me right after the class. I go to Pulse one night. The man see me and attack me. This was before I shipped him off. I shipped him off. Tell him about a wonderful opportunity and I'm going to sponsor him to go. I think he can go and make some money, and I did ship him off. I tell him, yeah man, you will make the money and come back, man. You will make the money and come back. I made up my mind though, Twitch, that I wasn't going back no matter what. And so I ended up staying with my current husband where he was living at the time, which was highly inaccessible. It was very hard to commute to get to where I needed to go. And me have to big up Marcy and Douglas because them keep the pitney them for me while I was going through all of this. I'm sharing my story because I want you to understand how hard it is for the victims to pick up the pieces, especially when they don't have nowhere to go. God sent Wayne to me. Wayne was already my friend, but God put him in the space to rescue me from what I was going through. I already loved him because he was my best friend all along. We're talking about, at that time, it would have been 15 years of friendship. And when we actually fell in love and we took our relationship to that point, people were bemused. Because them never know say something like that could have happened. But that made us perfect for each other because we know each other's flaws. As a matter of fact, when my husband and I used to fight, I remember in 2008, I tore my ACL. It's a very bad injury, grade 4, total rupture. Your ACL is your anterior cruciate ligament, is a professional injury. I tore it right through, grade 4, complete rupture while I was dancing. When you remember that match at Stadium Jamaica versus is Bermuda or Bahamas, where we give them 7-Love. I was one of the dancers in the halftime show. And I tore my ACL and couldn't come off of the field. I had to be lifted off the field. When I did my orthopedic consultation, they told me I needed surgery. I haven't had the surgery to this day. I was on crutches for about 3 weeks, no, more than that. I was on crutches for probably about 5 to 6 weeks. And while I was on crutches, living in a townhouse, my husband pushed me down the stairs with a total ACL rupture. Pushed me down the stairs from the top to the bottom. I had to crawl. Them time that we have, it was 08 actually, Twitch, 08. I had to crawl on my bottom to the phone and call my best friend, who is now my husband, to come and take me to the doctor because he pushed me down the stairs, walk past me, step out and go about in business. You understand? YouTube, let me know if the stream is showing properly because I'm getting an error message. Right? YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth stream. Pastor Ricky, update me on the stream over there. Twitch, well, I was that girl at the back. Everybody thought that it was part of the act because they thought that they thought that what happened to me was part of the show. But I really and truly couldn't because everybody ran off the stage like them hear something. We're doing girly creep and whatever, and everybody run off of it and they thought that I was like part of the act for me, and two of the other dancers had to come back for me and take me off because I couldn't move. No, and you know at that time, no man I had, I didn't. That's the irony of the situation. I did not. You understand? And don't ask if I never get a bakery, you know. But that is another conversation. Okay, Pastor Ricky, thanks for the update. But at the end of the day, I had a circle of friends at that time who were there for me. And when he realized he couldn't break me, that is when he actually revenge porn me. It was that whole time. Because when we decided say this is the last straw, I moved out because I had a house. I had my own house that I left to go live with him, rent a house in Kingston and live with him. And me have my house locked up. So I decided I'm moving back to my own house. You understand? And that is when him revenge porn me. I have it make labor rights have all over the place. Of course, man, I had somebody else with other kids too. With other kids. This is why it was so difficult for me to comprehend, because this man has so many women. You understand? But it is what it is. And so we learn and we move on. And as I say, I share my story because I want people to understand that it is not always easy for women to come out of those situations. It took me 3 times to finally get out. I got out on my 3rd attempt, meaning we separated and get back together. 2 times is the 3rd time we separate that it was final. And him fight me to the end until him finally accept that I'm not coming back. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Randine. Yeah, but it is what it is. And as I said, I had a very, very strong support system. I had a very strong support system. My parents, oh God, I had some good friends, some good, including my husband. Then, listen, what if a time when we fight, I remember one time giving this, like, at one point, you know, because it wasn't just physical abuse, as I was saying, financial abuse. I had a very good job. I was a drug rep. So we earned a whole heap of money, US dollar. Me telling you, I was a pharmaceutical rep for a very long time. Them pay we in US dollar. Them time the dollar was 71, I would get $3,500 a month. And, you know, he decided that he didn't want to work. A lot of men get intimidated when women make more money than them. And they think it's a competition. And so how he coped? See my friend Nadine here. Nadine knows my story, you know. Nadine knows my story because Nadine was there when I was going through it. Nadine, honey, many times ranking, many times, not once, not one time, many times. Not only one time. Wagwan. And you know, a lot of men feel intimidated when you make more money than them. Okay, Pastor Ricky, nice to know. And you know, his way of coping with that was to stop working. Basically stop working. He decided to him now work. Because since me making the money, him now go work. And of course, I could not manage everything because it's a lot. He would have stay home and run up the bills. I still have to have helper. That time my daughter was young. So we needed somebody. He couldn't, I mean, it's not a situation where he's gonna stay home and reduce the expenses. And so we used to fight over money. Because I'd have to give him money to do something as simple as put gas in the car. Because himself, him vehicle, God knows what him do with the money. Him want to drive my car when me need for work. Yeah, that's what he did, Escobar. And you know, I remember giving him money to put gas in the car. And him, to how much money I give him, the car not supposed to run out of gas. And the car left me a road with gas, and me realized, say, him not putting the gas in the car, him using the money. And so what I did, I tell him, say, him can't use my car anymore. He locked me out of the house that I was paying the rent for. Who rescued me? No current husband. You following me? Pastor Ricky says to tell you hi, Twitch. You hear? Pastor Ricky said big you up. But the bottom line is, it's 3 times it took me to finally leave. The second time I left, that's when I got revenge porn. I went back. Last time I left, I went through a lot of stuff as well. I lost a lot of my assets. I lost my house. I lost my car. My name come in the newspaper for all sort of something. And you know, it was just messy. It was a messy separation. It was a messy divorce. And eventually I got over it. Yes, I did. See, Nadine can testify that I sent him to Nigeria. I put the money together and sent him on a one-way trip to Nigeria. So when I say it's not lie, I'm telling. I sent him to Nigeria during Ebola. Remember with the Ebola outbreak 10 years ago? Yeah. I sent him. Sad but true. But him find him way back. He found his way back, and when he came back, I had already moved on. Set the motion in place for my divorce. Unfortunately, my lawyer passed on. Him never catch it though, and him find him way back. But my lawyer passed on, and so I had to put off the divorce, and it was messy, but eventually I got out, and I was able to move on with Wayne. Because after a while he started shaming me that no man not going to take me up with my 3 picnic them, and how, I mean, I'm nobody, him just using me and him going to leave me. Up until the day, you know, when he stopped saying those things, he called me one day because he had to keep the kids, not knowing why he had to keep them. And when he called me, it happened that him video called me. And when him video called me, I was in my wedding dress with my face done up, and he called me about half an hour before my wedding. Oh, you look nice. Where you going? I'm getting married. That is the last time because he had it up until that point that my husband now got married me. Up to that point, he had it everywhere. That Archer, them soon left, man, because by that time, him got through a whole heap of different relationship. But when he saw me, I was getting married. Remember, so my wedding anniversary was the day before yesterday. That was my 3rd wedding anniversary. You understand? So, he's probably living in guilt and regret. He is, you know, and he says it all the time. But that's not my problem. That is not my problem. You understand? And even after we got married, he was like, oh, you're not going to change your name. And I said, well, I went and I changed out all my name, every last document, everything has been changed. Everything changed. So my name is now Forbes Thomas. I've dropped Lynch from everything. My ex-husband name. So the bottom line is there is always life after abuse. And if any woman who is a victim of abuse on this life who doesn't want to say, just remember, say, it's not the end of the world, and no matter what you go through. That's why I'm telling you something. You see, my experience is why labor rights can never break me. Thank you, Nadine. Cow never no use him till it cut off. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you. You know, but there is always life at the end. You just have to keep yourself safe and give yourself time to heal. That is it, Yahem, the unstoppable. You know, and me know what we mean. Forgiveness. I had to forgive, you know. I had to forgive him. I had to forgive him for myself, because if I didn't forgive him, I wouldn't be happy in my marriage. And my husband told me that this is not something because we used to argue all the time, and it used to make me bitter and upset. And I used to take out my anger on my husband, and he sit me down and say, listen to me, you have to let this go. You have to move on. Bless up yourself, Jamaican rude boy. And so, there you go, Mrs. Escobar. The thing about it is you have to find a way to move out of the person's reach. And so I forgave him. As long as my kids were happy. Okay, stop Scully done. As long as my children were happy, I was happy. And so if my children, if him did have a girlfriend when me pick them upset, that is when me and him we have a problem. Me no want nobody abuse my kids. Because my husband treats my children very well. And my children have a very good relationship with my husband. And so I don't want him to carry anybody in them life that not going to treat them the same way. And so eventually we reach the point where we're on good terms. You understand? We're not going to say we don't have little spots, especially I'm very miserable when it comes on to my children. Very, very miserable. I'm very exacting, anybody, even, trust me, even my parents, sometimes they will bite off their head for me pick me them. During the COVID with the joke, me and them used to war because them a try pressure me forget me pick me them joke. Tell them if them want me war with them, just listen, I'm one of those mothers. I am one of those mothers with anybody. Me pick me them and now my grandkids too. My grand pick me them too. I'm just one of those. Thank you, Ricardo. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But as I said, at the end of the day, I want my story, my testimony to help others. Do not suffer in silence. That is excellent and friendly. And that is what we have to teach our young men. And let me tell you something. It takes both parents to instill that. There are certain things that only mothers can instill, and there are certain things that only fathers can instill. I have learned that. And it doesn't have to be a biological father. I have learned that. When I separated from my ex-husband, Sebastian was only 3 years old. And Sebastian is the most adjusted out of all my children because he had stability. The stability that my husband and I gave to him. He was raised in a drama-free environment. No arguing, no fighting, just parents. Even if this father is not his biological father, he had a father figure that respects his mother, and it made a big difference compared to how it was for my son, who was raised by me and my first husband. It took a lot in his teenage years for me to start. Listen to me, Nadine, you know, say me old. Nadine, I am 45 this year. Stop telling me about picnic. We have grandkids now. Wayne have grandkids. They might not be his biologically, but when them see him, them prefer him to me. Them call him grandpa and they ignore me. It's all about grandpa. So allow me. I gave him grandkids. Leave me alone. Alright? Leave me alone. No more babies. No more babies. No more babies. You go and go have it. Yeah, man. Definitely Escobar. Definitely. But, you know, to get to this point now where I can advocate and share my story quite a lot. I just hope say people who experience this can learn something from me. Man, I yard me say no, and he's good with that. Him alright, you know. It's not like it's something we haven't discussed. Apples may not have them kind of money there right now. It's not like it's something we haven't discussed. I have thought of every single option, right? I've thought of every single option. First of all, it would be a high-risk pregnancy for me. I also suffer from lupus. So at my age, it's not advisable, right? Diagnosed when I was pregnant with well, before I had Sean Douglas, I was diagnosed. That's part of the reason why I changed my diet and became vegetarian and transitioned into veganism. Right? Because for health reasons. My family also has a strong history of rheumatoid arthritis. So, me not go take up more than me can manage. You understand? Sometimes you have to know your limit. You have to know you're limited, as the old people say. You understand? And as I say, we have the grandkids now, and the good thing about the grandkids is we can send them back to them mother when we're tired. Because I'm telling you something, you know, really want me to go take up sleepless nights again? No, sir. Sometimes when you have the grandkids, you know, you're just dead for tomorrow. Come say you can just send them back to them parents. Randy, me and you talk about this already. You know, we talk about this already. Sometimes when you see me with them on the live, if me never get me little space now, no would I see them running up and down amongst me. No, sir. But it is what it is, and I'm happy. I'm content. I'm in a space now. I am content. I'm blessed with a good man, a loving man, a supportive man. And I am happy for that. If it's one thing God has blessed me with, is my family. I'm very, very grateful to them. Very grateful to my family. You understand? So, this is why domestic violence touches me so. It touches me because of my experience. And as I say, I don't want nobody to have up my ex-husband because he was young, and I'm sure he has grown from his experience. I have seen that he has perhaps become a different person. I mean, in his relationships going forward, I don't see where he has been. He's not the same person. He has grown. The experience has taught both of us a lot. Maybe we were just not meant for each other. You have 5 grandkids for one son. Your son a go on, man. Me tell my son, say, anyhow him ever do that again, he better find him wife first. Him no bother with it. Don't bother carry them to me. Me have these 2 and I am good with them. Right? Settle down first, because him have them young. God given me retribution for having him young, because I had him when I was 20. I wasn't even out of university when him born. But at the end of the day, as I say, sometimes people are just not meant to be together, but you are better friends. You understand? And we co-parent. We have a beautiful co-parenting relationship. You see the irony of the situation? When it comes to co-parenting, we have it down pat. No argument, no nothing. All him sick. Him did get some of the sickness to the other day caused by the thing was very sick, and his me did have to look after him. And I don't mind, and I tell you this, I tell you why. When he had the first major illness, what scared me was my children's reaction, especially my eldest son, and how he fell apart. This is how me know say if something more serious did happen to him, they would not be able to handle it. So for my children's sake, I had to take care of him and make sure him get better. So now every morning, religiously, him send me blood pressure, him send me sugar, I monitor him. Make sure I'm taking his medication. I have to make sure that he is okay, because at the very least, I'm doing this for my children. And my husband encourages me too, because he saw how torn up the kids were when they thought that he was going to pass. You understand? It's strange how God do things, you know. God work out things. God work out things. Let me tell you something, Twitch. Me is the person in my family who save everybody. Save everybody. Me, when it come on to sickness, it's me. If you need to go to the hospital, call Kamla. Call Kamla. Kamla is going to go to the hospital with you and stay with you. My friends, any member of my family, cousin, auntie. When as young as I was, I spent a year in Cuba. between 17 and 18 years old, foregoing sixth form. I didn't go to sixth form. Why? Because my aunt was diagnosed with cancer and went to Cuba for treatment, and I was sent with her. And I didn't get to go to sixth form. And I didn't mind. I studied on my own, studied A-levels on my own, and passed, and ended up going to university. Yeah, I was born with healing hands, you know. Lady Andrea, I was born with healing hands. I was born with healing hands. It's a gift that I have from birth. Before I even was trained, I used to save lives. Like if accident, I could swim a lot. I swam from my school and rescue people all at beach and stop people from drowning. That's why I tell you, say, trouble always find me, you know, because God always place me where I need to be to intervene in somebody's life. You understand? So my gift is saving lives, and it's something I take seriously. And the death of people that I try to save touches me deeply. It touches me deeply. So I try to, I'm a perfectionist when it comes on to them someday. Unfriendly, you want to see when me and my husband I save people. Because sometimes when you have the accident on the road, I remember one particular time on the I-95, a bike man. You want to see me, beach where I come from, you know, beach we coming from. You want to see me and him in action. Because my husband is 6'4", he's very big. And I am 5'2", so me can't lift up nobody. You want to see the boat away. It is fun. It is funny. But it is what it is. Yeah, that is true, Twitch. If I had the time, I would probably do some more speaking engagements. But, you know, as I said, because I'm also political, people tend to stay far from people like me who is so forthright with our political allegiance. That's why people, one of my mission is to de-villainize, if that's a word, de-villainize political activism. Thank you, no, I know your name is Marcia. That's also my mother's name, Marcia. I love you and thank you so much. Let me tell you, I try to de-villainize political involvement, political activism. Because once you are a political activist in Jamaica, yeah, my mommy is Marcia Swire Forbes. But once you're a political activist in Jamaica, they tend to have certain prejudices against you. First and foremost, they think that you're in politics for money. That you're gone into politics to earn a living. They don't realize that people who are professionals are also political activists. You understand? They think that you're going into politics for what you can get, what you can scrape. Hi, Auntie P. For what you can. Thank you, Pastor. See you, Pastor Ricky. But they think that you go into politics for what you can scrape. They don't realize that there are a lot of people who are a part of politics to really and genuinely improve the country. When I see the country running, oh, I don't like it, you know. I decided that I needed to get more involved. But now, all of a sudden, they assume that you have no education, you have no background. Them start spread all sorts of rumors about you, about who you're there with and what you do. And rumors don't really bother me. It is what it is. But political involvement tends to make people think them can take liberty with you. Me, whole heap of liberty taking. I think that politics has made me grow as a person, because I'm telling you the truth, before I became involved in politics, really, Marlene? Okay, interesting. But before I became in politics, I think I was a bit of a snob. I went to Campion, so it is par for the course. A lot of Campionites tend to be snobs. And I think that before I became a political activist, I was perhaps somewhat of a snob. And his politics really made me down to earth to a certain level. You understand? Exactly, Ahim. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I think that it has helped me in terms of being able to relate to more people. It wastes a lot of my time too, because I'm sure that if I never took up politics, me would have done my doctorate long time. You understand? But it is what it is. It's for the greater good. I see politics as a means to a greater good. Because I believe in my party. I genuinely believe in my party. That is it, unfriendly. That is it. And it's not just about being a comrade, it's about being involved. It is about being involved. You understand? It's about trying to make a difference. That is what it is about. But as I say, exactly, Twitch, making a change. Right? There are different avenues to making that change, and because somebody chooses politics to make that change doesn't mean that you're going to hate on the person or whatever. You understand? And if somebody who is a Labourite can tell me exactly why they're a Labourite and articulate it properly and share their belief, I'm willing to have a serious conversation with that person. It's just that I've never seen a Labourite yet who don't get personal, who can speak on topic, agree to disagree, and just keep it at a respectful professional level. I've yet to see a Labourite who can do that. That is why I have a problem with them, because them can't articulate. People can have political differences, you know, but you see, when the disrespect come in, that is where we're going to draw the line. And I've never seen, even when you look at their leadership is very disrespectful to ordinary Jamaicans. Even now, with this whole Mark Golding thing, with his citizenship and his visa, they're trying to disrespect the man who has done nothing wrong. He has broken no laws, because they're trying to deflect. They can't debate at all on anything, Mrs. Escobar, because, as I say, educated people tend to stay away from the JLP. The ones who go into the JLP most of the time, them scraping something. This is what I have seen. Nobody has yet proven me wrong. Nobody has yet to prove. If I can be proven wrong, if one can show me. I think the last Labourite I can say were definitely going to the JLP, not to gain anything, but to make a contribution, was Dr. Ken Barr. God bless him, God rest his soul. I don't see any other Labourite who can say, yes, that was a decent person. Dr. Ken Barr is probably the only person who I can say that about. And I knew him personally in his capacity as a doctor. And so I could definitely say that, yes, Dr. Ken Barr was a decent human being. I don't know any other Labourite who is a decent human being. Stop call them name, please. Me telling you, stop call them name. Don't call them name. Don't call them name. You can always say this one. You don't have to say who him is. Dr. Ken Barr is deceased, so I'm not getting no popularity from this life, because him dead and buried already. You understand? Yes, Marcia, he was a decent human being. And he's the only one that I can think of who was a decent human being. I cannot think of any other one who we can call a decent person. Right? In Bruce Golding old age, I see him trying I see him trying to rescue his reputation. Thank you, Dominique. Thank you. I appreciate the gift. I see him trying to rescue his reputation in his old age. But I was around when Bruce Golding created Tarspin. So his reputation just gone. I was around when Bruce Golding did the atrocities. I mean, Spanish Town is violent because of Bruce Golding. So I will never, yes, him trying to redeem himself, but him irredeemable. He's literally irredeemable. All of a sudden now, he's acting like a sage old man. Him irredeemable. Probably him can't ask the Lord for forgiveness, but him can't ask me for forgiveness. can never ask me for forgiveness because he sent man to bomb up my family house. Right? That is a fact. That is not a fiction. That is a fact. You understand? So as I said, maybe him can ask the Lord for salvation, but him certainly won't be getting any salvation from me. Warmth and decent. And this is what me can't understand with labor rights, you know. Jesus. We never sit down with a forgive him. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Knowing what him put my family through, I'm not there yet. No shame. I forgive him. Let's not get into it. Let's not get into that. Let's just know that I'm not there yet. I am not there. Maybe in the future, but not right now. You understand? But as I say, I don't know of any labor right that I can say that I respect as a person. Because every one of them overthink with respect. When I was in my 20s, and this is the truth now, when Andrew Holness was Minister of Education, hey Spider, when Andrew Holness was Minister of Education, before him True Colors did start to show in the early 2000s, well, when what the hell just happened? I put my hand on my forehead and I went blank. When Andrew Holness was Minister of Education, I thank you for the Rose W07. I thought that he had some promise during Bruce Golding administration. And then, of course, he proved us all wrong and started to show him true colors. And we see him for exactly who him is. Me know from day one, I know from day one that Tufton was wicked and evil. Because remember, you know, when he was Minister of Agriculture, him import, this is something I will never forgive him for. Import the human feces fertilizer. I will never forgive Tufton for that. That was his first transgression. Yeah man, all of us thought that Andrew was promising. Until Andrew started to show how wicked him is. When him turned leader, him show. That time the labor right them did well and know say him was a little demon. But for Tufton, we didn't know say him was demon from day one. From day one. So as far as I am concerned, they are all opportunists. They are all opportunists. You understand? Every single last one of them, they are They are opportunists. Them don't mean Jamaica any good. They are in there to get what them can, to scrape, to just get what them can get out of it, out of the politics. It's a band of thieves united by God he knows what, by opportunity. That's what it boils down to, you know. They're a band of thieves united by opportunity. That's what it boils down to. Scrape everything. They're scraping everything. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Fool them cry, yes, Lady Andrea. That's exactly that. Exactly twitch the whole of them. I seen a media release from the PNP that I'm going to share before we end. It seems to be coming from the opposition spokesperson on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes. Let me just share it with you quickly before I end, because you know I'm soon gone on my bed. Opposition says PR blitz by the Ministry of Health will not distract the people of Jamaica. The entire government depend on a PR blitz. The entire government is on a PR blitz, not just. May I come a second? Let me see one issue here with YouTube. I don't want them to feel left out. So may I go read it in a minute? I'm just sorting out this thing. Opposition spokesperson on health and wellness, Dr. Alfred Dawes, has called on the Ministry of Health and Wellness to answer pertinent questions raised by Jamaicans concerning the healthcare sector rather than focus on a PR campaign aimed at misleading the public. Now I see Christopherton all over the place opening, groundbreaking for all sorts of something. I have a question. How is it that he's building so many things and Cornwall Regional can't fix it? That's what me want to know. How comes him keep on him constructing something at UA, him constructing things all over. All over. What?
Where's the friend from?
And can you wait until I'm done or go and look for it?
I'm looking for it.
Because it was used.
All of them?
No, some more. Look, man. Good night, brat. Anyway, he interrupted my life.
Sorry.
Why is them pick me here? Whenever them can't find nothing is me, them come text it and me try. Alright, so what we have been subjected to over the last week is a series of releases and video with a feel-good vibe, replete with smiling face and upbeat music rather than answers to the questions raised, said Dr. Dawes. This is the modus operandi of a leadership bereft of ideas and lacking the political will to effect the changes craved by the grassroots activists. The PR blitz is designed to overshadow the harsh realities of our public sector, our public health system. Hey, brats. There is no explanation for the rising maternal, neonatal, and infant mortality rates. Despite the hype around the refurbishment, there is no comment on why Chapelton Hospital remains unusable due to predictable staff shortages. There is a deafening silence regarding where the donated ventilators are located, ignoring the required accountability to the private sector and the international donors. There has been no word on the 400. You see how much time I'm telling about this $400 million, comrade, where we get for COVID. Where all of us, we're not hearing about. We're not hear about the $400,000, $400 million where we get for COVID. Hush, brat, sorry that you're late. I'm sorry that you're late. There has been no word on the $400 million improperly unaccounted for during the pandemic, nor a comment on the fact that the Ministry of Health and Wellness has been fingered as one entity unable to properly account for 1.3 trillion Jamaican dollars. I think that this is a joke thing. This is some serious allegations. 1.3 trillion Jamaican dollars. Emergency departments are still overcrowded, and surgical waiting lists are accumulating because of fundamental issues creating backlogs were never considered in the code care program. Meanwhile, Jamaica stands out as a country where breast cancer death rates are increasingly contrary to global trends. I can tell you that. there are 2 dancers who passed away since here. Now my group of dancers, it's ballroom dancing I do. How many Jamaicans do you know with the ballroom dancing? Answer me that before I continue. Latin dancing, ballroom dancing. I specialize in Latin dance. How many Jamaicans do you know do this kind of dancing? Not much. Well, in January, one of our Latin dancers died from breast cancer, and in this month another one has died from breast cancer. 2. We don't have 200 dancers. We don't have there are not 200 who do. A matter of fact, there's probably just about 100. And of course, you know, it's male and female. So the fact that 2 females have died in a space of 3 months. One died in January. She was Jerry what died in January, and now another one named Colette died. You understand? So this is real. It is real. It is not fake. So breast cancer rates are extremely high. Other cancers too, but breast cancer in particular. Right? The explanation of the overspend of Cornwall Regional is specious at best. Is the first me hear that the word there, no? Dr. Dawes. What am I say? I consider myself an English aficionado and I've never heard of this word, but okay. So it's specious at best, he says. No other hospital has seen anything close to $3 billion in improvements, making the claim about where those funds have been spent entirely ridiculous. What has happened is that there is a massive wastage that hovers between spectacular incompetence and possible corruption. I don't think it's possible. It's not possible. It is corruption. Nothing possible about it. It is corruption. There's no 2 ways about it. Which is why we have failed to see any value for money except paint jobs and other cosmetic work. The people are still suffering despite us being told how much money has been spent, as if that is a metric by which success is measured. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you for the condolences. Jamaicans should keenly observe the manipulation tactics being used, catchy music, smiling faces, and empty messages. Christopher reminds me of a pharmaceutical rep. I'm serious. He reminds me of a pharmaceutical rep. Him come in like say, him could have sell any drug. I'm serious. Jamaicans should keenly observe the manipulation tactics being used, catchy music, smiling faces, and empty messages, and demand concrete answers instead. It is time for Jamaicans to get a government that prioritizes genuine actions rather than squandering taxpayer dollars on marketing plays aimed at drawing out the harsh and painful realities facing ordinary citizens. The sheer magnitude of this ongoing media blitz by the Ministry of Health speaks volumes about where the administration truly stands, concluded Dr. Dawes, and that is the release. Yeah, I concur with all of this. I concur. Couldn't have said it better. Pastor Ricky just sent me a message. Let me read it. They are still calling for Mr. Golden to prove his citizenship in a Gleaner headline. Well, this is simply more distractions and deflections from the real issues, such as where the original drafted constitution reform document. When will the original drafted constitution reform document be released to the public? Specious means deceptive, erroneous, false, inaccurate. Thank you, Brat. Thank you. I am not lying when I say it's the first I'm hearing that word. Marlene promised to release the new original constitutional reform document that they wanted everyone on the CRC to sign on May 7th. As a result, we the people would like to review the original drafted CR document and not a revised version. In addition, when will the PM publicly state what is his position on the CCJ? I'm glad Pastor Ricky bring that up. I'm sorry, say I'm gone, you see. Yes, Maureen, they are trying to distract us. We want to know what is the JLP stance on the CCJ. This is very, very important to us. Right? There are the two main issues, right? These are the two main issues right now regarding the constitutional reform that we the people feel that is being hidden from us. The Prime Minister promised to respond to Mr. Golding's letter on his position on the CCJ or the Privy Council courts. All well-thinking, well-informed and educated Jamaicans know that Section 82 of the Constitution allows for the Governor General to form a Jamaican Privy Council with recommendations of at least 6 members from the Prime Minister. Finally, all well-thinking, well-informed and educated Jamaicans know that the Prime Minister was appointed in May 2021 by the Queen to sit on the Privy Council board in the UK. That is what Andrew don't want to give up. Andrew does not want to come off of the Privy Council board. That's why he don't want to give up the Privy Council. Because the minute he gives up the Privy Council, he has to come off of the Privy Council board. We've been waiting since October 3, 2023 for these answers. My fellow Jamaicans, it pays to be in the know, to avoid being deceived, misled with information, disinformation, distractions, and deflections. He couldn't say it better. In this technological world and social media era that we're currently living in, all information we need to graduate into the know is at our disposal if we only take the time to research, read, and comprehend. Marlene and the PM, the great Jamaican people, the Caribbean community, the diaspora, and internationally, everyone have been waiting to hear from you on why the original constitutional reform drafted document for the people by the people is being kept a secret from the people. These are strong points, Pastor Ricky. Was it drafted for the government's protection? What rights do we have? What rights we have that are being omitted? We need to know. Blessings is spot on. Spot on. Well, comrades, that's it for another night, you know. That is it for another night. Thank you for joining. Yes, Frank Malcolm, them run out of optics. They run right out of optics. Thank you for joining me so much, everybody. It's my pleasure again. I realize YouTube, the camera freeze, but I'm still there. I'm still here, and I know you're hearing me. But this is where we call it good night. I want to play on the trumpet for you before we go. I want to play the trumpet for you before we sign off, because I didn't get to play it the last time because the computer was giving me trouble. Good night, Mrs. Escobar, my sweetheart. When I just wait, I could play Jamaica Arise and call it a night. Remember, before I start, remember that the replay is always available on YouTube. So for those of you who don't get to catch the whole live, catch it on YouTube. Remember that you can follow me on all my platforms. If you're not following me on TikTok as yet, wanna make sure say wanna follow me. Wait, Escobar, oh yeah, mute so blur it. When you say all of the labor right them are running now when the live done, wanna too late. See Escobar catch you now, boy. Follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube. Good night, Marcia. Subscribe to my YouTube. Remember to follow me on Follow me on Facebook. Yes, my Facebook page is Love You Too Party. So Let us now listen to Jamaica Arise. Good night, everybody.
The trumpet has sounded, my countrymen all, so awake from your slumber and answer the call. The torch has been lighted, the dawn is at hand. Who joins in the fight for his own native land? Land of my birth, I pledge to thee, loyal and faithful to
That is it, comrades. Big up on yourself, you know. Tomorrow, same time, same place for another edition of Politics Church Nightly. Alright? Take care of yourself.